George, given your childhood, your upbringing, going through something like that, a baptism of fire, if you will, do you think it prepared you for Hollywood? Because it certainly hasn't been easy going, trying to carve out a career, has it?
It was actually not preparation, but a challenge. As a matter of fact, my father wanted me to be an architect. He was in real estate, and I think he fancied the notion of putting out a sign saying Takei and Son Real Estate Development, and I would design the buildings and he would develop them. And so, as a good son, I started my college career as an architecture student at UC Berkeley. But after 2 years, I had to be true to the fire burning inside me. I was passionate about theater and particularly about acting, and I wanted to test my wings. And so I switched to theater arts at UCLA, and convincing my father was the biggest challenge. And my father said, look at TV, look at the movies, look at what they're doing in the theater. I mean, there are very few roles for Asian Americans, and when there is a significant Asian or Asian American role, it's played by Caucasians in yellowface. Is that what you want to devote your life to? And I said, Daddy, I'm going to change it. The arrogance of idealistic young people. And I was very idealistic then. And so I said, it was a challenge to me. I said, Daddy, I will go out there and talk to directors and writers and producers and change the situation. So in many ways, the internment gave me the determination of what I needed to change, because stereotypes, as depicted in movies and television, the media particularly, was in part, that played a part in putting us into those internment camp. We had an attorney general in California, the top lawyer of California, who made the statement, and it's an amazing statement. He said, we have no reports of spying or sabotage or fifth column activities by Japanese Americans. And that is ominous, because the Japanese are inscrutable. You can't tell what they're thinking. So we better lock them up before they do anything. So for this Attorney General, the absence of evidence was the evidence. And that man later on went on to become the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States. His name is Earl Warren. I think many people will recognize that. He went down in the history books as the liberal Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. I think it was because he felt guilty about what he did during or prior to the Second World War.
Amazing. I think back to your comments to your father, Daddy, I'm going to change that. I wonder if you would still be saying, Daddy, I'm still trying to change that, because you're still kind of up against it, aren't you?
Yes, it's changed considerably. From the time that I began, when those stereotypes were rampant, to today, when now, on television at least, we have series that stars Asian American families. For example, Fresh Off the Boat, or John Cho, who now plays my character from Star Trek, Sulu, on the rebooted Star Trek movies. He was the lead in a TV series. And so television reflects the diversity of the United States today. We are the most diverse nation in the world. And so that we've made that progress. But in movies, films, we still have an enormous challenge. I remember when I was in high school, I saw a classic movie based on Pearl Buck's legendary novel, The Good Earth. It's a story of a Chinese peasant who becomes wealthy and powerful. It was made into a film, I think, in the 30s, and they showed it to us in high school as an example of great literature being made into movies. The lead role, fantastic role of this peasant who becomes rich and powerful, was played by Paul Muni in Chinese makeup. His wife, Olan, was played by Louise Rayner, a wonderful actress, but a Caucasian, and she won an Oscar as Best Actress for that role. And that pattern has been true in films. Whenever there is a major, substantial, leading acting role for of an Asian American character or Asian character, it's always played by Caucasians in Asian makeup, and the minor roles are played by Asian American actors. And it's still happening to this day. And those attempts at portraying Asian or Asian Americans by using white actors have all been failures. Last year there was this movie Aloha, in which there was a character who was half Chinese and half Hawaiian, named Gloria Ng, played by Emma Stone, who's a wonderful actress, but she's blonde and with porcelain white skin. And now we've read about Scarlett Johansson, Swedish ancestry actress, playing a character from manga, Japanese comics, named Motoko Kusanagi, a Japanese character being played by Scarlett Johansson. So this still continues. All these films that have been made, like The Last Airbenders, have been utter flops. And when we criticize them, they say, well, we need name actors to ensure the success of a film. Well, they've been flops. They never learn. These producers never learn. Filmmaking is a big gamble. It's a throw of the dice. And if they're going to try to ensure the success, why cast Caucasians as Asians when it's been a series of box office flops? Take that chance. Be a gambler and find and create an Asian or Asian American star. But, we're still talking against a wall.